Have you ever studied something only to forget almost everything a few days later? I used to think learning was about effort, spending more time, focusing harder, and just pushing through. But no matter how much I tried, most of it didn't stick. So I started studying how learning actually works. And once I made a few small shifts, I started retaining information faster and with less effort. So in this video, I'm going to show you the three-part system I use now to actually learn, remember, and apply anything I take in. I used to open a book and just start reading, hoping that if I spent enough time, it would eventually click. But most of it didn't stick, because I was forcing information in, without giving my brain a reason to hold on to it. Your brain doesn't keep information just because you see it. It keeps what feels important. I call this the input switch. It's a simple shift. Stop asking, what should I read? And start asking, what am I trying to understand? The moment you have a question, your brain switches from passive reading to active searching. Research shows curiosity increases dopamine activity in the brain. Dopamine enhances attention, encoding, and memory. When you're trying to answer a question, your brain is more likely to store what you're learning. So before you read or learn anything, write down one question you want answered. Even if you finish a chapter and don't find the exact answer, your brain has still been searching and engaging. That process alone strengthens memory and focus. So progress is happening whether or not the question is fully resolved yet. Now, most people stop there, and this is exactly why they forget everything. I used to finish books and feel like I understood everything. Then a few days later, I couldn't explain any of it. Not because I wasn't focused, but because I never trained my brain to remember. Understanding something once doesn't mean you've learned it. I call this the retrieval loop. Instead of going back to the page, you pull the information out of your memory. That's what actually builds learning. There's the forgetting curve, which shows that we forget most new information in days if we don't revisit it. But research on retrieval practice shows that actively recalling information strengthens memory far more than rereading. Even struggling to remember makes your memory stronger. Combine this with spaced repetition, which is allowing some forgetting to occur before testing again, and learning becomes significantly more durable. So after reading, close the book and ask yourself, what was that about? What problem was solved? And what was the solution? Write it down, speak it out loud, or use tools like Anki or ChatGPT to create quizzes. The goal isn't perfect recall. It's practice in pulling the information from memory. Making mistakes is actually a key part of learning. It tells your brain what needs adjustment and reinforces the knowledge. The feedback itself is what turns understanding into skill. And this is where most people think they've learned something, but nothing actually changes. I used to think learning ended when I understood something, but nothing in my life actually improved because I never used what I learned. If you don't use it, your brain assumes it's not important. Learning becomes real when you act on it instead of waiting until you feel ready. Think about a new board game. Nobody really understands by just hearing the rules. You start playing, making mistakes, and guessing. Then the rules make sense and you actually know how to play. That's how real learning works. This is backed by the generation effect in learning science. Attempting an answer, even if it's wrong, leads to better retention than passively receiving information. Combine that with feedback, which is seeing what worked and what didn't, and learning accelerates. That's why coaching works. It gives you targeted feedback to correct and reinforce learning. So after learning, ask, what's one small way I can try this today? Act immediately. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Small actions tell your brain this is important, and it'll remember it. Learning isn't about doing more. It's about learning smarter. Keep curiosity alive, take action, and trust your brain will do the rest. But even when you know how to learn and remember better, there's still one key skill most people miss. So watch this video next because I'm going to show you a simple method to read smarter, retain more, and actually use what you read. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next one.